Welcome to your Fandom Incident Report, the place where we talk about all things chronically online and discuss incidents within fandoms. Today is a very special episode of Fandom Incidents because we have a theme. There's only two things in this world that I am afraid of: the ocean and little anime girls on Twitch. Hi, my name is Dolly, but you can call me your favorite chronically online zombie. Let's talk about VTubers today. But before we get started, if you're listening to this while driving, remember to brake for goth girls. I don't know where to start this video, so let's just start at the beginning. So what exactly is a VTuber? I've talked about them before on this channel, but this time, it's not just a single section with jokes that really did not land. A VTuber, or a virtual YouTuber, is an online entertainer who uses a virtual avatar to portray themselves. Sometimes they play a character, sometimes the model is a representation of the person controlling it. There are multiple styles of VTubers, with some people opting for high-tech 3D models, while others use the cheaper alternative of a PNG tuber. For those of you who have been around a while, you've probably seen me pull out my VTuber once or twice. I drew and rigged this little baddie right here. So when I don't want to show my face on stream, I have a little buddy you guys can drool over instead. Yeah, I did give it boobs when I have none. A girl can dream. When I'm feeling really freaky though, that's when I pull out the foot model. People just keep asking me to use this more. But anyway, in the 2010s, the VTuber craze started over in Japan. And according to Wikipedia, because this is YouTube, not Harvard, there were more than 10,000 active VTubers by 2020. Kazuna AI was the first VTuber to break into the mainstream after her debut in 2016, garnering over 4 million subscribers across 3 channels on YouTube and over 1 million followers on the Chinese app Bilibili. Currently, the biggest VTuber out there is Guargura with almost 5 million subs on YouTube.
I pronounce my name Galgura, and a lot of you guys probably pronounce it Gargura.
So, there is this phenomena that happens with niche communities that people don't understand. And like furries, VTubers fall onto what I call the line of misunderstanding. Let's have a quick Dolly zombie vocab lesson. So if you're an avid watcher, then you'll know what I mean when I say a fandom incident. We can define a fandom incident as an action or post that has set the standard for the level of perceived degeneracy that takes place within a fandom. But let's add another term in there. What exactly is the line of misunderstanding? Let's break it down real quick. I'll use furries as the example here because it's a widely known niche community. You either know a lot about furries or you're normal and just know that it's people in animal costumes and that's about it. Because of the lack of knowledge surrounding a community from a general population, paired with fandom incidents that go widely viral, it creates this misunderstanding of a community as a whole. The line of misunderstanding can be defined as a general idea or belief that a community is worse than it actually is due to stereotypes, media, or fandom incidents that make a niche community fall onto a controversial line between understanding and misunderstanding where a general population doesn't want to associate. Long story short, if you aren't a furry and all you see about furries is that they f animals, you're not gonna want to learn more about furries. And you're not gonna see that 99% of them are normal and don't f animals. But back to VTubers. What's up with them? Well, VTubers have their own online culture since it's the place that they're able to come to life. And with it being pretty much an online thing, they've had to get creative. So here are a few of the things you should know about VTuber culture before we get into our incidents today. First on the list is debuts. This is an extremely important part of VTuber culture, if not one of the biggest moments of your career as a VTuber. A debut is when a VTuber introduces themselves to the world. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are. If you're debuting, people are gonna watch. During your debut, you have a chance to show off your model and show off all the special emotes, poses, outfits, and everything else that went into making your model. May the coolest model win. But that's not all. A debut is a very special stream because you're not just showing off your new look, but because this is your chance to show everybody exactly who you are and what you can do. A VTuber debut is not only a mogging competition, but an aura check as well. Old yeller me if I ever say that again. But your debut is your time to tease up and coming content, show off your talents, and outglam everybody else. Some people play games, others perform and sing, some DJ, others show off stand-up skills, watch movies, anything. It's all on you to stand out. I never had an official VTuber debut because my model is still a work in progress. I've been too busy to finish it if I've been honest, and good lord, does she need some work. But I also stream with my face sometimes, and that can be a big no-no amongst VTubers I've learned. Speaking of face, Let's talk about the art styles in VTubing. Because VTubing originated in Japan, the main style you're gonna see in the VTuber community is an anime or manga style. These are the most common of the art styles and typically the most popular. But VTubers aren't limited by art style nearly as much anymore, with people branching out and having a wide range of looks. If the anime style just isn't for you, you should check out people like Miss Lala, Psychic Refugee, or Fairy Sammy, all great creators who have super unique looks. But VTuber designs are a huge range because you can literally do anything with it. There's different types and themes that I've noticed are more popular than others, but the most common type I've seen is anime girls with some sort of animal motif. Take Guargura for an example. This is a shark girl. Shy Lily? That's an orca girl. Here's a bunch of HoloLive VTubers that fall under the category of hamster. Wait. What's HoloLive? Alright, the last thing I'm gonna cover before we start our incidents is VTuber agencies, because it will be relevant for today. A VTuber agency is an organization that specializes in representing or managing VTubers. The job of an agency is to help promote VTubers, manage brand deals, events, marketing, merchandise, licensing, and even help with a VTuber's setup for making content, in exchange for some of that sweet revenue. According to Reddit, the most reliable source on the internet, some agencies take up to 50% of the VTuber's profit. So if any VTubers out there want to comment about their experience in the comments down below about their agency experience, good or bad, I'm nosy and would love to hear it. But the main goal of an agency is to help you make money so they can make more money. Some agencies hold more weight than others, with HoloLive being the biggest, if not the most recognizable VTuber agency out there. When idols or talent decide to leave the agency or their contract expires, this is called graduating. But a graduation sometimes signals the end of a VTuber's career as that character, and some VTubers will change to a different character. That's not always the case though. Sometimes they just leave the company on good terms. But a wise man named Ludwig once asked the question, where do VTubers go when they graduate? And my answer for this is that they go to that big digital farm upstate where they can run around in the grass and go and be free. Let's talk about the insane world of VTuber incidents. I'm not even sure where to start here. I will say though, after researching on this for a couple days, there is a pattern of people making documents on other people. A lot of drama is told through Google Docs. Seeing some of this drama as someone who isn't really actually a VTuber, I feel like a lot of the issues in the community could be solved with just a proper conversation and some therapy. VTubers love drama. There's not as many incidents as there are just vicious exchanges between people. I just want to say, before I start opening my big yapper and start talking about VTubers, at the start of this video, I mentioned I was afraid of two things: the ocean and little anime girls on Twitch. I would rather piss off every single has-been hotel fan out there than make a VTuber with some clout mad. The level of petty that these little animated motherfuckers can reach would make Regina George shit in her hot pink thong. I would like to make it very clear, if I make a negative joke or have a criticism about another creator today, I genuinely hold no malice towards the creator. I am using them for clout myself here. I have no beef with you, little anime girl. Thank you for entertaining. Today, I am not going to be covering drama, because I feel like an incident and drama are two different things. And with drama, it's a lot less straightforward. And knowing myself, I'm gonna get something wrong and then I'm gonna get sniped by a cat girl. But let's start with something a little bit lighter than getting executed on the spot by a weeb. There's a clip of a VTuber that has gone around for a while that just continues to haunt my feed. Let's roll it, shall we? A lot of people know this clip, but let's talk about the story behind it. So on July 1st of 2023, at the Cosplay Arts Festival in Thailand, a VTuber named DeCapo, the most popular member of the VTuber agency Algorithm Project, had a pre-recorded performance that went massively viral. People memed this shit nearly to death. I was laughing at it. People were freaking out over the fact that people paid hundreds of dollars to see this. They paid money to see a guy reveal his big ass forehead to the world. Unfortunately though, I just lied to all of you. That isn't the truth. Poor DeCapo got caught on the line of misunderstanding when this video spread to a mainstream audience, with one of the most notable misconceptions being the extreme prices for a virtual concert. So the online rumor was people were paying hundreds of dollars to go see this VTuber concert, and people were saying it was around the price of $300. So I can guess people got the price of around 300 USD from mistranslating or misunderstanding that money has has different value everywhere. The performance was held at a cosplay arts festival in Thailand. Currently, $1 equals nearly 33 Thai baht. At the time of filming this, it won't let me go onto the actual website for the arts festival for some reason, but according to Yahoo, Cosplay Arts Festival charged 300 Thai baht to enter, which is $9.20 here in the US. Y'all are making fun of people for seeing this for $9.20. Listen, you can't make fun of that if you've ever bought a concert ticket for a pop star here in the US. Have you seen some of the prices these divas put out? The drinks at the arena for the concerts here literally cost more than the entire entry fee for a arts festival in Thailand. I don't care what anyone has to say. For $9.20, if this was near me, you bet your ass me and my friends would be up there. Beer, each hand, front row. I would be up there cheering on this wannabe shonen star. Look at his design and tell me this motherfucker is not a fiend for Demon Slayer. If people don't scream like the horde of teenage girls in this video when my big ass forehead gets revealed one day, I'm quitting YouTube. I'm packing it up. The grease on my forehead is bright enough to lighten up a whole room. I actually keep the bangs here for your safety. The only screaming that's gonna happen is when I burn your retinas out with my big chrome dome over here. But I've yapped enough about that. I want to quickly retouch on another VTubing incident that I talked about in a previous video. Because the story is like a car crash you just can't look away from. Riro Ron was a VTuber who was known for being super silly and quirky and singing. She's adorable, isn't she? She's so cute. You just wanna pinch her cheeks. She's so cute. Wrong! This is a criminal. You know, I used to think that canceling creators worked until I learned the story of a bitch so resilient the streets called her cockroach. Nobody calls her that. But you know how people say cockroaches can survive a nuclear fallout? I feel like this is genuinely the perfect metaphor for this. That actually sounds so mean. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. So remember how we were talking about VTuber agencies before? So there was this VTuber named Kuresu, and when she signed with Idol Corp, she became Riro Ron, the criminal I just showed you. So on November 28th of 2023, Riro Ron was fired from Idol Corp. And of course, Idol Corp posted on Twitter about her departure via a fucking Google Doc. What did I tell you? VTubers love a Google Doc for some reason. But anyway, Idol Corp listed some reasons as to why Riro Ron was terminated. And people, being nosy as always, were like, girl, what does this info mean? What do you mean? So let me tell you about what was posted, and then let's talk about what happened. We would like to inform you that as of November 28th, 2023, we have terminated our contract with Idol Star Project talent Riro Ron. Regarding the actions of Riro Ron that led to this termination, it has been discovered through an internal investigation that Riro Ron violated her contract and engaged in activities both dangerous and harmful to her own well-being as well as to the company. Through our investigation, we were able to confirm that Riro Ron violated her contract in the following ways. Misuse of controlled substances during live stream performances, soliciting fans during live stream members' content for private offline meetings, meeting with a fan in person and accepting gifts from said fan in the total value of thousands of dollars. Conducting a secret relationship with a member of the Idol Corp management team who has also been terminated upon confirmation of these details. Bit of a crazy list, right? So let's just go through it in order, shall we? Misuse of controlled substances during live stream performances. Riro Ron had a reoccurring bit on her streams where she would take pills that make her very sleepy loopy, and sometimes you could pay her to take them. Like on a specific stream we'll talk about in a minute. She called these her silly pills. And real quick, I want to make a correction to the last time I talked about this. I thought that I had the type of pill she was taking right. But now re-looking at this, I've seen at least 3 or 4 different types of sleeping pills people claim she has used in my comments and on different online forums, and I'm gonna be real, I don't think we know much more than it was a sleeping pill. I could be wrong, again, I often am. It is hard to find reliable information on incidents sometimes. But moving on. Soliciting fans during live stream members' content for private offline meetings. Oh boy, this is where it gets fun. Riro Ron did a private kind of members only stream in which she detailed that she was gonna start a harem with her fans, even going so far as to have a detailed list of rules. You can pause to read this since I already covered it in another video. But holy shit, you mean to tell me someone who looks and talks like this
I finished the banana. Yes, I finished the banana.
Had one of the biggest actual scandals in the VTuber scene. It's crazy that there's people out there who folded for a bitch that looks like a labubu. But yeah, she made a detailed list for this. She was determined to make that harem. Meeting with a fan in person and accepting gifts from said fan in the total value of thousands of dollars. Listen, some of you are not gonna like this when I say this is low-key based. No, don't click off the video. Don't click off the video. Listen. I support women's rights. Sometimes you gotta support a woman's wrong as well. She got the bag there, she did. And you know what? I don't want to see anybody in my comments acting high and mighty. I guarantee a lot of you would do it too for a check. Especially if it was just someone giving you free gifts in exchange for doing nothing. Conducting a secret relationship with a member of the idol management team, who has also been terminated upon confirmation of these details. Allegedly, she was fooling around with a talent manager on the side. So to make a long story even shorter, she basically bounced right back from this and genuinely handled it like a champ. She's still making content out there as Kirasu again, being met with even more love than before. This entire scandal just basically cemented her career and an audience. Also, the last thing I'm gonna mention before we move on here, is this tweet. It makes me giggle every time because why the fuck would you post that? This next one is a bit of a cautionary tale about stalking. Be safe out there, guys. Sometimes you won't notice you're being stalked until it's too late. So stay vigilant, and if you think you're getting stalked, tell someone about it. It doesn't matter if you seem crazy. Let everyone who cares about you know at very least. This is one of those situations where it truly is better to be safe than be sorry. So Camilla is an English-speaking VTuber who describes herself as a silly clown girl. She made her debut in 2022 after streaming for about 2 years and has gotten pretty massive on the VTuber scene. Side note, I think her VTuber design is really cute. Camilla attended a convention in 2024 to meet up with fans. VTubers do this very frequently, either going as their virtual avatar on a screen, or more commonly they'll go wearing just a mask or some sort of disguise or even a cosplay of their own character. So Camilla met up with her fans and she got a lot of gifts from fans. Everything was going great. The convention ended and Camilla headed back home, bringing all of the wonderful gifts she got with her. Everything seemed perfectly normal until a few days after she returned home, this happened.
Look at her little, like... What the fuck was that?
Now, unfortunately, you can't see what's going on because VTuber, but what you just heard was someone breaking into Camilla's house with a sledgehammer. Breaking into someone's house is obviously insane, but I can't even imagine if somebody broke into my house with a sledgehammer looking for me. I'd shit my pants. I'd shit my pants and die right there. Anyways, you're probably like, how's this connected, right? Well, after this, the stream ends pretty quickly, and Camilla went silent for a few days, and she put out a shocking tweet. Make sure you guys are checking convention gifts for tracking devices. A little bit ominous, but I'm sure we can all connect the dots here. Basically, Camilla met this batshit crazy fan at the convention, and he put a tracking device in the gift he gave her. He waited for her to go home, found out where she lived, and then broke into her house with a sledgehammer. I cannot imagine the fear that she must have felt. Camilla later went on to a live stream from a different location, where she was able to give out more information on the story. Lucky for her, she had been very prepared for a situation like this. And when she heard the stalker attempting to break in, she was able to press a panic button under her desk, which notified the cops, and then she went to go hide with her mother. Fortunately, the cops did get there on time and the guy was arrested. And thankfully, there was no harm to Camilla or her family. So the most ironic and probably crazier part of this stream was not her telling the story of the stalker, but while she was doing this stream and telling everyone, hey guys, you know, be careful, be a lot more wary, be very private about your personal information, her phone started reading her address out loud, unprompted. Roll the tape.
It's very worth it. Why did my iPhone just try to read out my location?
This is insane. Camilla, girl, I'm so sorry. I'm honestly not even sure how this happens. Everybody who has an iPhone knows that Siri will sometimes just kick in and start yelling at you for no reason. But I've never had it once read my address out loud unprompted, thankfully. Moving forward, Camilla is now in a position, unfortunately, where she can't accept gifts from fans, or even do fan meetups out of fear for her own safety. It's such a sad case of one bad egg ruining the whole bunch for everybody else, you know? I genuinely hope Camilla is able to move on from this and feel safe again. That is a horrifying thing to live through. Godspeed and God bless, girl. Hanabasami Kyo is a Japanese VTuber signed with React. She is pretty known as a highly respected musical artist in the industry. But unfortunately, as we've seen before, good things don't always get to happen to good people. And on April 30th of 2024, React put out a statement regarding a bomb threat towards Kyo's concert. The other day, our company's mail address received death threats and bomb threats with relation to Kyo Hanabasami's 4th one-man live. At the present moment, we are cooperating with the police and exercising caution with regards to the perpetrator. We are proceeding to strengthen the security at the venue and lodge a criminal complaint. With regards to the safety of the audience, securing your safety should be your first preference. In case you do find the suspicious person, please evacuate safely without coming into contact with the person and contact the staff after you have gotten to safety. Yep. Basically, if you don't want to come, you don't have to come. If you don't want to go, you're gonna get a refund. With regards to the anonymous statements containing the death threats and bomb threats, we are closely examining it and will investigate and deal with it. And oh my god, I'm reading through this statement and it's still not done. We kindly request your understanding and cooperation. Thankfully, things did go as planned and nobody was harmed at this concert. Let's be so for real for a second. A bomb threat at a VTuber concert. What kind of level of loser do you have to be to do that? And the fact that the death threats and bomb threats are plural? Get it together, basement dweller. Unfortunately, this is kind of a common thing that happens at performances, whether it's a content creator or a real celebrity. I don't know why there were death threats and bomb threats given in this situation. I genuinely have struggled to find any information past just what I showed you, and especially information I can translate or read. When looking at people's comments on Reddit, it seemed like people were upset about some internal drama and changes at the company, as well as talent changes. Still a strange reason to call in with a bomb threat. Hello?
You have 3 days to restore my favorite lolicon to her former glory, or else.
Okay. Alright, forget the bad and the sad for a second. Let's talk about something I personally think is really funny. Have you ever been to a baseball game and thought, damn, this would be a lot more fun if my favorite waifu was here? Well, on July 5th, 2024, some baseball-loving nerd's dream came true. The Dodgers and HoloLive collabed for Hollow Knight Live at the Dodgers Stadium. Absolutely insane they pulled it off. The night featured the creators Guargura, Susei Hashimachi, and Pekora Usuda. They sold baseball jerseys, baseball cards, and lots of other HoloLive merch. Nobody expected that the HoloLive fans would show up and show out. The line for the HoloLive merch booth wrapping around the entire stadium. A bunch of people didn't even make it to the booth. They should have added more booths with merch. Simple fix, dog. But even with the crazy merch lines, reportedly, the night was a lot of fun. With people showing up in cosplay, the HoloLive girls hyping up the crowds, and Guargura even singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." What the hell even is a Cracker Jack? I don't know, I don't care. If the little anime girl is selling it, I'm sold. This is so funny to me because imagine, you're some old guy, right? You've done 2 tours of Nam. Life hasn't been kind to you and you find solace in the never-changing sport of baseball. And all of a sudden, there's this little anime girl just yelling at you to get up and dance. I would be so confused and honest to God, a little scared. It's like seeing a new species of humans right in front of you. What do you mean that's a celebrity? Is that what the kids are doing now these days? They sit around and they worship the little anime girl? Yeah, Papa, it's something like that. Y'all are gonna give Grandpa a stroke. But that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was hard to find things for this video that weren't just people arguing over various things. Or, you know, someone just being a dick. I think VTubing as a concept is just so fun and silly and whimsical and magical. And at the end of the day, I think it's really cool because people are just so creative with it. But with that being said, I'll see you next week. Bye! Hi, I'm DZ. Remember to break for goth girls.